What is up, Connect 7 Tribe? I hope all of you are having a fantastic day, evening, or night, or whenever you are listening to this. I hope everything is going amazingly. And if you are a person who is probably currently experiencing some heartbreak, this is the episode for you. So, let's go into this. Kind of just threw you in here. Welcome. So, season 2, episode 6, Heartbreak. Let's talk about it because, like I said, this is going to be the season. Again, I'm coming for you guys, but it's 2020. A lot of people are going through some stuff, and heartbreak is one of them. So let's just talk about it. And this is specifically for you. You know, not your friend, not your mama, not your best friend, but if you want to help them, you can send them this episode by all means. But if you're going through some type of heartbreak, let us get into this episode. So there is no announcement. We're just going to go into it. There is a fun fact, but I really wanted to help you guys with this episode because when I was like, what is this episode going to be about? And nothing was coming to me. I'm like, what should I do it on? So I asked my sister, and she was like, you should do one on heartbreak. And I was like, really? Because I was hearing like, you should do something on love. I'm like, no, we need to, everybody doing love stuff. I'm like, we need to get something that's going to help people. And sure enough, I was like, I like this. And then she was just talking to me. I was like, yeah, let's actually talk about this. So, that's how this episode was born. And it's going to be a little bit different, though, guys. So I'm still going to come for you. You'll see. So let's go into the fun fact. So let me get my paper here. So, fun fact. Michael Jackson offered to make a Harry Potter musical, but J.K. Rowling rejected the idea. Rowling defended herself because she says she turned down a lot of adaptation opportunities, and Michael Jackson's just so happened to be one of them. So homegirl said, nah, my dude, you ain't touching this. It's a no. I'm gonna need you to take this L. So nah, homeboy. You know what? I'm okay with that though. I have no rebuttal. Because I don't really care for musicals like that, but some people do, so I'm sorry, but it ain't for me. So, good call on that one. I know some people are like, yeah, but it's Michael Jackson. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care for musicals, Michael Jackson or not. It could be Beyonce. No. So, let's go into this episode. All right. So, we got to change the energy up. So, instead of just talking about heartbreak, I want to help you guys pretty much navigate through heartbreak so you can reach that end of the tunnel, right? So if anything, this is more of a how to navigate, through heartbreak type of episode. So I might even change the whole name. You know what? I think I'm gonna change the name. Instead of just heartbreak, it's gonna be how to navigate through heartbreak. We're gonna do that. So let's get into this, right? So here we are. Your heart is broken. You probably was in a relationship for X amount of time, right? A lot of investments, a lot of emotional energy. You get it. So let's talk about getting through that in a healthy way, because it's not too many people that talk about it. And let me just say this, at least not that I see, there's not enough people who talk about it. Like some people just say, oh, you'll be all right, or get over it, or this, that, and the other, but no one really talks about how to navigate through it, So here you are. So the first thing, after your heart's been broken, you're not in a relationship with the person no more. You done did X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? Symbol here, drawing there. The first thing you want to do is take time to work on you, right? Now, some people, y'all probably kind of just tune me out a little bit because y'all like, oh yeah, we hit it all the time. You hear that, but nobody really talks to you about how to work on you, because y'all just be thinking work on you means, take a moment away from the relationship and go do your thing. That ain't it. That's not all of it. So I'm gonna need you to bring your attention back here, because I'm not gonna be one of your little friends say, oh, you just gotta work on you, my guy. You gotta work on you, sis. That's what you need to do. Do that. But there's more to that. So come back to me. So here's what we mean. Well, what I mean when I say take time to work on you. First thing, heal. You need to heal yourself, right? Dad, what do you mean by heal myself? Well, your heart's broken, you going through it, right? So it's probably throwing you off mentally. You're probably thinking about it a lot. You know what I mean? You probably ain't eating, probably depressed. You going through all the emotional roller coasters, right? And sometimes when we really go through, especially a heartbreak, it starts to kind of open up doors to past pain that we may have not resolved, or past patterns that we thought we ended but we didn't, right? And so the first thing you want to do is heal. You want to take time to resolve those things, right? You want to see, okay, is this a pattern? Why is this a pattern? Why am I constantly going through this? If it's constantly happening, it's you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's you. It's something you doing. There's something that you haven't resolved yet. You gotta take some time to heal, right? Now, the healing process is different for all of us. Sometimes we just really need to sit back, be away from people, be alone for a minute, and just really self-reflect. Now, if you can't do that, then maybe you might need someone to help you, be it a friend, be it a counselor, a therapist, whatever. Take that time to heal, depending on your level of heartbreak or the pain you're in. Sometimes you probably can't do it by yourself. That's why it's great to have great people around you or someone who can help you. So that's the first thing. I'm not gonna hone in too much on that because I can do a whole episode on healing, but you really just want to take that time to heal. Heal does not mean, well, it's 2020, so I told y'all I'm not gonna hold back on y'all. Healing does not mean go smoke a blunt and smoke it away, because no, that's not happening. Oh well, bro, I need that to relax my mind. No, you addicted. Drinking all your problems ain't gonna do it. Sorry, bro. Sorry, sis. Not gonna happen. You gonna have to face that, which means you gonna have to get uncomfortable and face the ugly truth of things, right? So that healing process is different for everybody, but you need to take that time to do it, because if you don't, you're just gonna keep going through it again, and or you're going to bring that up in a different relationship, which we're going to cover, right? So in that process of taking time to work on you, you need to heal. Another thing is see what happened. What happened in the relationship? What really happened? Was like the person snapped? Like was things always kind of bad? Like was there something going on that y'all didn't resolve? Is there no communication? Were there boundaries crossed? Was what happened? Like really see what happened. You know what I mean? Actually analyze it, see what they did and see how you contributed to it, right? Because a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to see what happened to other people, but you don't want to see how you contributed to the heartbreak. You need to look at yourself too. So see what happened. After you usually go through the whole healing process, which takes time, don't rush it, don't force it. It's going to take time, guys. Sometimes that healing process can go for a few months to a year to a couple of years, even longer. But as long as you get healed, that's really what matters. So don't put no time limit on it. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate this F word, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Forgive. Now, when I say forgive, you're really forgiving for yourself. Forgive them, but for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you may feel like, you probably wasted time, or you invested energy, or you did whatever, but you need to forgive yourself because you did, what you thought was best at the time. You know what I mean? It's kind of easy when we're out of something that we start to see things from a different angle, right? Like, dang, if I'd known what I knew now, I probably would have did something different. But you didn't. So you need to forgive yourself for that, and you need to forgive the other person for what they did. Now, that is a process in itself. everything that I'm saying to you guys, it may sound like this is quick, but I'm letting you know all of this is a whole process. This could be months, this could be years for you all to do it, but you need to do it. By you not doing it and you just suppressing it or trying to, leave it to the side or not facing it, it's going to come back on you and it's going to explode. So, handle it now or not. It's up to you. Basically, do what you need to do for you to work on you. Sometimes you're the problem. You may not want to hear that, but sometimes you're the problem. So, you need to fix yourself. How that may be, therapy, a friend, really self-reflection, times and things like that. Sorry guys, I gotta put my blue light glasses on. I thought I could do this episode without it, but your boy need his blue light glasses on. Sorry for some of y'all who are not seeing the podcast, but these glasses, they look nice. But my blue light glasses, they just protect my eyes from, the blue light of the computer. Anywho, so do what you have to do, because again, you may be the problem. And some of y'all don't want to hear that, but I'm going to tell you, here at Connect 7, we're going to keep things authentic for you guys. But it's okay. Accept it. You know what I mean? You may be going through some stuff that you have not healed from, or it could be family stuff. It could be trauma that you just haven't, gotten over. And I know I said gotten over. That's so mean. But here we are. That you may have not healed from. And you may have not known how to, and that's okay. A part of the process of, taking time to work on you is that, okay, I need help, but I don't know how to get help. Okay, start there. Ask someone, how can you get help? Or maybe you're not comfortable asking for help. You know what? Okay, start there. Why are you not comfortable? You may say, I look at there's nothing wrong with me, it's other people. Okay. We need to have a sit down because you contributed to this. It ain't all of them. Especially if you're experiencing this a lot of the times, let's talk about you for a little bit. I know what's going on with, Brittany or Shay. We gotta switch it up. Marcus or Leroy. There's a name that everybody over here. Rodney. I'm just seeing that name all over Facebook. So, something could be going on with Rodney. You know what I mean? No, let's talk about you. What's going on? So you get the gist. That whole process is going to take time. And you have to take that time to work on yourself when it comes to a heartbreak, because this is one of the things that people don't talk about, but heartbreaks really reveal so much about yourself that you may not want to hear it, but it's actually a blessing. It's actually it serves you to see things about yourself that maybe you didn't want to face or that you didn't want to deal with. It's going to open those things up. Now, you can take that energy, you can take that presentation, whatever you want to do, you can take it and learn from it and grow and be better, or you can see it as what it is and just keep going on with it. You know what I mean? Choice is up to you. So that's the first thing, right? 1 out of 4. So here's the second thing. I can't believe I gotta say this, but I gotta say this for some of y'all out here. Number 2, you're in a heartbreak. Don't get in another relationship. I don't understand, but don't get into another relationship. Now, I have come to discover that people who do jump into another relationship, I've from what they've told me, is that they don't want to be alone. Number 1, they're used to having someone. They don't want to deal with this stuff, so they get in another relationship hoping that it's going to change and stuff like that. But it's just no, bro, you need to work on you, because now you're going to bring all of that baggage and all of that unnecessary stuff into the next relationship. I believe the quote is, I think it's something like, heal yourself or else you're going to bleed on other people or something like that. But basically is the baggage. If you haven't healed from if you jump in relationships, for the last 2 relationships in 6-month period, you finna hurt the next person, and you really finna hurt yourself. After a while, you start to build this, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, when not resistance, not denial. Um, it's basically a word. I can't think of the word right now. It's a word for when you're just not facing what you need to face. You start to get used to not to deny. I'm gonna go with denial. I can't think of it right now. Denial of self, denial of taking the time to work on you, right? You start to build it up, and you it gets hard for you to be alone. And that could be something that you could have done, like I said, in the first part, is working on yourself. So don't get into another relationship when you're dealing with a heartbreak, because you're going to literally bring that on to another person. So obviously I said it, but it's bad for you and the next person you get involved with. So I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, because some people, y'all hear that, but I think that just goes over your head. It's bad for you, but we're gonna talk about the other person. I know I said we ain't gonna talk about other people, your mom and your friends and all that, but for this moment, for this example, when you bring somebody else involved who decides to be open to a relationship with you, you don't know if they took some time to heal themselves and they're like, you know what, I think I'm ready to date, right? And they're like, okay, you know, this person looks good or whatnot, or they seem cool, and that person is like opening themselves up to you, and you haven't done diddly squat to do anything to help yourself. And so all of this baggage and stuff like that you have, you're bringing it on to them. And so what I mean by that is this person's like, oh, you know, I like you, you know, you're cool, whatnot. They say, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with some friends, you know, I'll talk to you soon. Friends? Are they guys? Or are they females? Or whatever it is, like, yeah, nah, I don't like that. So now you start bringing some other stuff, and they're like, okay, but these are my friends. Like, what do you mean you don't like that? Nah, you over here hanging out with guys. How I know you're not having sex with them? See, that wasn't even the case, you know. Sometimes it is, but when you bring that energy and stuff like that, you just setting yourself up for failure. So basically, it's not good for you, because this person is open up to you, and now you throwing some stuff at them that happened with you in your last two relationships onto them, and they're like, whoa, I ain't even asked for all this. I'm just hanging out with my friends who in fact came before you, number one, and you're telling me that I can't do nothing because you think that I'm gonna be messing with them. Well, what about you? What are you know what I mean? You're setting yourself up. It's just, I'm gonna keep it at that. You just setting yourself up for failure, guys. It's just not good. Work on you, like I said in the first one, but don't get into another relationship. Another reason is to stay single at least till you're all healed from the last relationship, right? And sometimes it may be all the relationships, but y'all know you better than me. So that's the best route, I would say. Stay single till you're all healed from the last relationship, till you're better. You know what I mean? You're not bringing baggage and different things like that. You learned what you did to contribute to that heartbreak. You worked on it. You're better at it. You're communicating and going from there. And even then, continue to work on you. You're gonna always be working on yourself. I'm telling you that now, but continue to work on yourself. Don't ever get lazy when it comes to your own self growth. Don't ever get lazy on that. You want to constantly be doing something on that. So that's the second thing. Don't get into another relationship, especially when you have some heartbreak going on. Again, I could talk to y'all from a perspective of oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you went through that. But I'm just giving it to y'all real. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing it. Y'all tired of the emotions that you're going through. So I'm just giving it to y'all how you gonna heal from it. I promise you there is so much care and empathy, with the heartbreak, because I get it. Been there. Ain't fun. It's like a hole in your chest sometimes, and sometimes that pain seems like it's just frozen in time, right? Like you're just going through it, and next thing you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years went by, and you still haven't completely gotten over a person. I get it, I do. But after a while, you got to get sick and tired of feeling that way. You want to do something for that pain to go away. So I get it, but I'm gonna help y'all get through this, right? So now we're gonna get into the third thing. I'm gonna say this a little slow. I'm gonna slow it down for the third part, because this requires a little bit more attention. The third thing is after you worked on yourself, you staying single, you're not jumping into a relationship. The third thing is you need to start learning the difference between what you want than what you need. And I'm gonna say that again. You need to start learning the difference between what you want than what you need. Right? This is gonna take a lot of self-reflection, because sometimes you'll find that the things that you want were things that either TV, the media, or people around you who don't have healthy relationships, number one, are telling you that you should want, right? And then another thing is, some of the things that people be saying they want, you have to ask yourself, are you able to do the same? You want this person to be this or be that, but are you that? Are you this? You want this person to come at you this way, but do you come at people that way? This takes a lot of self-reflection. A lot of people say, I want this person to cook, I want this person to clean, I want this person to be healthy, I want this person to have a mindset. Okay, but are you all of those things that you said, or are you not? And then if you say if you have to think about it, well, I'm kinda, then no, that's below par. You need to make sure the things that you want, you have them too, right? But again, like I said, that takes a lot of self-reflection, because some of y'all, what are they saying now? Some of y'all have the audacity, and that just really just bothers me a little bit. No, actually, no, it don't bother me. It's more entertaining, because I just sit here and I'm like, people saying, yeah, man, from both sides, the guy's like, yeah, she gotta look like this, you know what I mean? She gotta have a mindset like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, so she gotta look good, but you not working on your physical appearance. All you doing is getting a haircut and put on cologne. But okay, you eating like trash, so I know your insides are trash and your face is oily, but you ain't doing that, and or doing any type of physical activity. But she has to look that way. Okay, error one. She has to have this mindset like this. She got to think like this. Okay, but you still have the same mindset like when we were in high school. And then when we introduce growth to you, you shy away from it like a child. Okay, error two. Got you. This ain't gonna work. Okay. And then on the flip side, you know what I mean? Yeah, this guy, I want him to be, communicating, like, and actually be like, have emotions and stuff like that. Okay, but the minute somebody disagrees with you, your whole communication shuts down. Okay, error there. You want this person to be emotional, but yet you don't like talking about your emotions or anything when we bring it up. Error two. You know what I mean, guys? You get the gist. Make sure, if that's something you want, make sure you have that and then some. But now let's that's just one part. Let's talk about the need part, because sometimes we have a lot of wants and we don't focus on the things that we may need. And a lot of people don't want to admit that they need certain things, and sometimes we're just genuinely not aware. So you just have to be open to that. So again, like I said, this takes a lot of self-reflection, but I can give you guys a personal example, with the love of my life now. She's awesome. She's been on an episode. And I remember when a lot of people would talk to me about, what type of woman, that I would love and things like that. And want and love. I was like, yeah, I want this person to be strong. I want this person, to be smart. I want this person to be, I think at the time I was like, wanting to be, Native American. I would love to get back to my Native American roots. Like, it was a lot of whole different wants, you know what I mean? I want them to be spiritual. I want them, I'm trying to think of what I used to say back then. I just want them, like, if they have, if they're in tune with their stuff, I want them to at least be on my level and stuff like that. That's what I wanted. Did I get that? The strength, yes. I gotta be careful because she's gonna fight me. The strength, yes. But all the other physical characteristics and in tune and all of that is just like, nah. But that's again, that was a one. But what I needed was who she is like now. You know what I mean? The way she thinks is different than the way I am. You know what I mean? I'm like the spiritual one, and she's like, yeah, that's all you. You know what I mean? I'm good over here. you do that, and it's like, okay, all right, this is different, but it's like she's really great in areas that I did not think of, or I would say wanted. I didn't think of it, so I couldn't have wanted it. But the areas that she is amazing in is the areas that I need help in, and it's just like I'll talk with her, and she would say like, I'm like, hey, I got this idea. This is what I'm doing, and she's like, oh, you can do this. I'm like, well, I don't really know how to do this part. She's like, oh, okay. You know, this idea, it would really be good if you go here. She'll literally list it out and send me links. If you go here, talk to this person, go talk to that person, let them know what you're doing, and go from there. I'm like, damn, all right then. Then think about that. Versus if I would have got everything that I wanted, you know, I don't think we would grow at the level we do. But it's cool because when you know the difference between what you want and what you need, it changes everything. I would say you step into a whole different realm of a relationship because you will have something that individual needs, and that individual has something that you need, but it doesn't create a dependency or anything like that, which is that was one of my concerns. I'm like, I don't want to be with somebody that like they need this, and it's like, no, it's not even that way at all. It's just like they gonna do what they can do the best way possible, and they'll find somebody to do it. But it's great when it's like your partner, someone you're in a relationship with, and they are able to help you in areas that you know you need help with. Let's be honest, guys. There are things that we are not that the best in, or want to do, or not that strong in. And to have your partner who is great in that area and you weren't even thinking about that, whole new realm. So this is why I say you really want to self-reflect on what is it, and self-reflect on and knowing the difference between what it is that you want and then what it is that you need, because you'll find that what it is that you need is going to overpower that which you want. And there's something else I want to say to that too, is that I've noticed a lot of people who I have spoken with, when they're more focused on the want spectrum, there's still maturity that needs to be there. There's a pattern that I've noticed with that. Some of you guys can probably take a moment and I don't know, think on that. Like, is there someone that you know that says they want this, and their maturity level may not be that in that which they want? I don't know. That's something I've just come to be aware of, like right now, starting to really kick in. But anyways, those who are aware of what it is that they need, I don't know, it's just a different energy. Like, they already know what they're good in, and they know what they're working on, and they know, okay, this is how I work, this is how I operate, you know, I'm open, I'm flexible, but this is what I need in this type of relationship, because of what they learned in the heartbreaks, because of what they learned in past relationships. You'll find that some of the things that you need was derived from the lessons and the healing you got from the most craziest heartbreaks, right? You'll find that before you wanted a person, most of the time it's their physical characteristics who are this, that, and the other. But you'll find that you need someone who is open with communication, who knows how to communicate. You may find that you need someone who is emotionally intelligent. You know, you may find that you need someone who is a great listener, right? Versus someone who's just talking. You may find that you need someone who cares about not only themselves, but you or others, and actually put actions to show that they care, right? You'll start to notice that those needs literally outweigh, that's what I was looking for earlier, outweigh those things that you wanted. So that's what I mean. The third thing is start learning the difference. That takes a lot of self-reflection. Sometimes you go through a lot of pain, but hey, that's why I keep telling y'all, go through the healing, take the time to work on you, because you're not going to be able to get the things that you need if you keep, running away from the pain. You don't face it. And here's the fourth and the last thing with it. And I say every step that I've given you guys, 1 through 3, is important. But I would say the fourth one, to help you not only apply those steps, but to stay on your game and help you evolve to higher levels, is this. The fourth thing is associate with people in healthy relationships and learn from them. Not toxic, not show. Let me be real with y'all, because some of y'all be thinking that, this person that y'all talk to all the time is like a mentor to y'all, and you think they stuff is healthy, and I really need to help y'all. One of the most valuable lessons that I've learned, and it was hard, but it had to get it, is that you need to be aware of who you're listening to, right? And granted, some people, they have good intentions, but you need to look, what I've learned, you need to look at the fruit, right? And that part was hard when they say look at the fruit, look at the harvest. So let me give you an example of what I mean that was hard. There was somebody who, I was really close with. They were really cool, and we would talk about relationship stuff, and I would talk with them about, just relationships. And the fruit, if I, looking at it, was that they were single. And it just seemed like when they were in relationships and stuff like that, they were good, but they were kind of like in different relationships here and there. But again, they were single. And I'm talking to a single person, about certain relationship stuff. But don't get me, I don't want y'all to say that single people can give, relationship advice. They can. But I noticed there was a pattern with this individual, is that, they would talk about communicate, but when I would hear how they were on the phone, with the person that they were in a relationship with at the time, that communication one, A plus. It was a D plus, D plus relationship, communication. And it was just like, whoa, like you have to really be careful of who you listen to. And you can take that in a lot of different ways. Like someone, don't talk to that person that you're really cool with, who probably was somebody you grew up, talking to, I don't know, for the longest time, or y'all, it's a real close friend with you, or real close friend of yours, and you talking to him about business, and they telling you, oh, bro, you gotta do this, but they only own business, but sometimes you're not aware of that. Like you can be talking with someone who's like, hey, I want your ideas on what should I do for this design, but they're not a creative person. They're a close friend of yours, but they're not a creative person. You know what I mean? That's not saying that they don't have credit, but it's just like, be aware of the fruit, like of the people you're talking to. If you're wanting to talk with someone about relationships, you probably should talk with someone who's in a very healthy relationship, and they both can, or one of them can talk to you about it. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that if the person is, for example, single, you can't talk with them. No, you can, but just be aware of their fruit, because that person could be really great at relationships, but they choose to be single because they have stuff that they have going on, and that's good too. That's wisdom, because they can tell you like, hey, I'm single by choice because right now my main focus is my business, and I don't have the time or the emotional capacity to give to another person, or I choose not to focus my energy on being in a relationship because I know that messes me up. That's something that they could learn in their healing process, right? And so that person could still give you advice because they choose to be single. All I'm telling you guys is just be aware of the fruit, and be aware of what that person around you produces when they're giving you advice. So again, associate with people in healthy relationships and learn from them. So what I mean by that, and to give y'all like some really good details, because y'all think, oh, let me just talk to a person and text them here and there. Yeah, nah, I'm gonna need you to hang out with them. I'm gonna need you to probably do some activities. You know what I mean? Learn. I know y'all probably saying 2020, well, wear a mask. God damn it, take a shower. Anywho, ask them questions. The next thing is, we all have stuff that goes on in a relationship. We ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? And sometimes we need help, talking to someone else before we talk to our partner. So let's just be real. If you're talking with someone who's in a healthy relationship, not toxic, you know what I mean? And let me, I don't know why my intuition is like, you should probably tell them an example of a healthy versus a toxic. If they're in a healthy relationship, they're not, talking to you about, oh yeah, bro, I'm finna go smash this girl over here, but it's like, bro, you got a whole wife and kids. Yeah, but gotta switch things up. Like, Okay, all right. Or someone, other side, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I seen that he was talking to one of his friends or whatever, so I'm gonna get his phone and tell that bitch to start texting my man. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? It's just like y'all can tell, like, okay, that's probably not healthy. You know what I mean? Y'all know the difference between healthy and toxic. Okay, you should know. You should know, right? And if you don't know, I'm trying to give y'all a real third grade example. Oh man, think about somebody who's real close to you. Real close to you. Like something happened to them, it just hurt your soul. If somebody was in a relationship and they did something crazy to them, how's that? And it didn't feel good to you, it probably wasn't healthy, right? But if it did, and you notice that person grew and evolved from it, probably is healthy. So go from there. The person you care about, somebody doing something kind of messed up, probably toxic. If they're probably doing something, you know what I mean, that's making them grow and feel great, probably healthy. That's the best I can give y'all. Because this could be a whole episode on just healthy versus toxic. But let's go back to what I was saying. Talking with the people and associating with them. Things that goes on in relationships, and sometimes, you may want to talk with someone. So when you're talking with someone who's in a healthy relationship, they don't want to hear your relationship drama, but they're there to help you if you asking them for advice, you know what I mean? So tell people, or tell that person who's in a healthy relationship or couple, tell them what's going on from a place of seeking advice and not complaining. Because if you are constantly telling this person, man, my girl or my dude, they do this, they do that, you're painting a negative picture, of this person. You know what I mean? They don't know what you're doing. They don't know all the other good stuff that's going on and stuff like that. Granted, we're human. We all know we all ain't perfect. Things happens in our relationships. But if you're constantly telling this person, hey, they like this, they like that, they do this, I don't like them, da da da, I done told them, da da da. Nobody don't want to hear that. Two, they probably gonna tell you, okay, well, you might want to break up, but you like, well, no, I love them, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not the one you should be talking to. You might want to talk to him about this. So if you're going to talk with people who are in a healthy relationship, tell them what's going on from a place of seeking advice and not complaining. Ask them these questions, So here's an example. Let me give y'all one. If your husband is, let's just say, not the type to open up emotionally, and that really bothers you, and you possibly tried talking to him about it and it's really kind of affecting things, talk with somebody, one of your friends who are in healthy relationships, like, hey, all right, hey Sammy, I was calling you, I wanted to ask you, a few questions on the relationship stuff. Like, she's like, okay, what's up? Like, hey, Victor, we talked about it a little bit before, but he doesn't really talk about his emotions, stuff like that. And I know that he holds things in, and I want to at least be there, to help him. But I feel like I can't help him, and I feel like it's putting a barrier or something in our relationship. Have you experienced this with Tom, or do you know someone who's been in a similar situation like me, so I can probably ask them for advice? Bam. Go from there. Versus, hey Sammy, girl, what you doing? Oh, I'm doing this. Okay. Victor asked and came to the house. He upset, but he don't want to talk about it. I know it's bothering him, but he don't. Every time I ask him or talk to him about something, he always going through this. He always talking about this, that, and the other. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of it. And it's just really annoying me. I'm about to leave his ass, but I guess besides that, he be doing other stuff. And Sammy don't want to hear that. Sammy just came home. Matter of fact, Sammy was watching her show on Netflix. You over here telling her stuff about Victor that she already knows about. Like, you should work on it. You know what I mean? There's a way that you come at that, guys. You ask from a place of like advice, and you'll find that people who are in healthy relationships are willing to give you advice, or ask someone for you, or hell, give you somebody else's number to talk with. Healthy association, like they say, the people you associate with, that's gonna affect. No, what's the right way? Birds of a feather flock together. So and then also you become like those you associate with the most. So if you want healthy relationships, it's really great to associate with those who are in a healthy relationship. And then the last part on that is just do the work. If they tell you what to do, do the work. Don't just say, oh, okay, and don't do nothing. Like, call that friend or talk to that person. That's what you do. Do the work. And if anything, with this whole thing is that I'm going to leave you with is that this takes time. This takes lots of time. But I promise you, once you do it, you're going to feel better. You're going to understand why you went through those heartbreaks, why you went through the issues or complications in those relationships. All of that was trying to serve you and make you become aware of, yourself. Now, sometimes, you may say that that person did was really effed up, right? I don't know your situation, but all I'm gonna tell you, either way, you contributed to it in some way, some form, right? And you know what? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did not. But you know what I mean? You could really look at that and understand what did you gain from that? You know what I mean? That sucked that you had to go through, but what did you gain from it? And after a while, guys, I'm talking to you from a perspective of a person who, again, been there, done that, but it's like, okay, I got a choice. Like you do. You have a choice. You can either sit there and just have a pity party, or you can actually decide, you know what, I want to feel better. I choose to feel better. I'm gonna get over this. I'm gonna get through this. You know what I mean? I don't like this feeling. It's bothering me. I haven't told nobody about this, but I'm ready to get help because I don't want this no more. I don't want to go through this. You know what I mean? Because sometimes heartbreak will take us down some very dark roads. I'm not gonna get into them dark roads. If you're listening to this, you already know them dark roads. But I promise you, if you just do some of this, I recommend all of it, but if you do some of this, you're gonna be A1. So now we're gonna switch the segment. Now, I was going to give y'all another gut check. I really was, but my intuition was like, no, don't do it, because this whole episode is technically a gut check. So you safe. I'm listening. You safe. So no gut check, because this whole episode was a gut check. I'm feeling some type of way about that, but it's okay. I know me. I'm be real. If I was back in my days and I heard an episode and it was a punch in the face like this, and then you gave me something else that'd probably crush me. Like, yeah, bro, nah, I can't listen to this. Can't listen to the rest of this. I'll come back to your podcast when I healed. You know what I mean? So, no gut check, guys. Stay safe. All right, we're going to go to the last column, and that's going to be it for this episode, guys. So, as you know, this is going to be the advice column. For those of you who are new to the podcast and you don't know what the advice column is, it's pretty much message me either on IG or Facebook for advice on how to connect better with yourself or those around you. And I'll pick 2 and answer them in the next episode. So this first question is from Jeffrey, and he says, I seen your last episode with Brandon, and he talked about how you helped him overcome his struggles. Could you elaborate more on how you did that? No problem, Jeffrey. Well, me and Brandon are pretty close. So to answer that question, to elaborate more, is, let me say this. How I help people, it goes by their energy and like my intuition. So it's really tailored and customized how I help people, again, depending on them. Some people need more of a you need to do this type of energy. Some people need more of a listening and understanding. Some people, I take it a little bit more slow because they're not used to either opening up and talking about stuff that's bothering them. Everybody's situation and upbringing is different. But in his particular case, I'm sure we've talked about it before. He said I can share stuff. So in Brandon's particular case, when I first met Brandon, Brandon had his walls up, and that's because of his upbringing. And at the same time, when I first met Brandon, he was he was different. I just knew it. I sensed it. It was just this strong sense, like when we were bowling, I'm like, his body is here, but his mind is somewhere else. And I'm like, I'm curious where he's at. because there's something that just says he's different. And I can feel when someone is reading me and I'm reading them, and so it's just really cool. And I can tell again he has strong walls up, so I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. That's just me. And so my approach with Brandon was I genuinely, now that's a big thing. I genuinely wanted to get to know him more. And so I would ask him questions. I could tell he's feeling me out. I'm feeling him out because I'm seeing how he's responding, because we both have this energy like, okay, before I talk to you more, I got to make sure you on par, because I just don't give my energy to just people like that. So after some time, like I said, I genuinely wanted to get to know him. I knew that he just didn't trust people off the bat, like not like that. So I worked to build that trust factor with him. I shared stuff that was, I've experienced, just to kind of create a space for him to share stuff that he's experienced. And so I would ask him questions and go from there. So I just worked my way with helping him. And so my intuition would tell me certain things about him, and I made it kind of like a point to just ask him, like, was he okay with certain questions? And he was like, yeah, he's fine with that. And so I would tell him, or ask him a question based off what I got from my intuition. And, like, hey, I sense that you're like this, or, something happened here. And he would tell me, like, yeah, this happened, you right, or something like that. And I would go from there. And so I took my time in asking him, these certain questions and getting information. So in Brandon's case, I took time. I asked him questions. I asked him if he was comfortable with these questions. And based off all of his responses, I knew whether I could take it further, or if I knew, okay, I might need to ease back, or I went with his energy. So if he was willing to to go through it more, I was willing to continue. And so eventually he started to open up more, and he would just tell me, hey, this is what's bothering me, or hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing, and stuff like that, in his own words. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things too. I had to learn how Brandon communicates, how he expresses, and it was just fun, because I just love people. And so in the particular cases that he went through, like he said, with his father and stuff like that, I noticed that when he would say his father's like name and stuff like that, there was an energy behind it. Like I felt his whole vibe change, and I was like, I want to talk about that. And he would say other things, and I'm like, he would say things, but his energy would say something else. So that was like my process. I would hear his words, but I focused on his energy, and I focused on his emotions and how they felt. So he may say I'm good, and his energy is like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, oh, and I would tell him, I'm like, your words are saying this, but your energy not matching. Why is that? And he would talk, he would go from there. So that was essentially like the process. That still is the process, with me and Brandon. So that was just that he felt comfortable to trust me and share with me, the information that he was going through. And I just suggested things to him. I didn't force it. I didn't tell him, you better do this or that and the other. I went with his energy, and I asked him questions. I asked him, hey, what works for you? What brings you peace? What relaxes you? This, that, and the other. And so from there, I was like, okay. He would say, the water or music. I was like, okay, I recommend you should go by the water more and stuff like that. Or, and he would go out. The thing is about Brandon is that he's very quick to apply. And that's something I noticed with him. So he was very, very quick, and he would just apply it, and he would get something from it, and we would talk. So it was always a constant level of communication. But I also noticed, again, how he communicated and how he expressed himself. So in the beginning, I knew he had walls up, so I had to do more of the poking, like, what about this? What about that? What's going over here? What about this? You say this, but this is over here. So that was more of the process. But again, it wasn't in a rude, it wasn't in a crazy way. He did admit it was very uncomfortable because he wasn't used to it, and I respected that. And so I just went with the level that I knew he was comfortable with. So it was a lot of communication, a lot of intuition, a lot of asking questions, and he would answer and he would ask questions, and I noticed he applied, and that's pretty much how that went with Brandon. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I really give all the credit to him, because it took him, number one, to accept me to be in his space, and then he did the work. He would talk to me, or we would talk. It was a suggestion here and there. He didn't have to do them, but he did it, and it's him. To be honest with you, I still say I maybe was like a 10-15% of the factor. He was the rest, because again, it's his life. He did his thing. He's always doing his thing. So that was that's what I would say. It's a process with Brandon, how he overcame his struggles. He communicated, and we went from there. So Jeffrey, I hope that answered your question. That was a long answer, but that's what it was. Okay, the next question is from Tina. So Tina says, okay, so I'm married. Everything is great between us, but it's difficult connecting with our friends who are single. I don't want this to be a thing. Any advice or tips on how to resolve this? Well, okay, this goes back to what I said earlier, actually, Tina, with the fruit. So, I'm not married. So let me say that. So I can't give you advice from, a perspective of a married person. But what I can do is tell you that I would speak to friends who are married, or people who are married in healthy relationships. Let me say that, in healthy marriages, and ask them for advice. And I would take it a step further to tell them kind of what it is exactly that you are having difficulties with connecting with your single friends. I don't know if it's just activities or whatever it is. I don't know, but I would say be specific and talk to someone who's in a healthy marriage and see if they've experienced that, and ask them how to resolve it, like you just asked me. I really can't answer the question, but that's the best way I can do. Anything that I don't know, especially if I'm like not sure, I always like to recommend someone. In this particular case, I would say there is this couple actually that I see on Instagram, and I think their name is Married. The Instagram name is Marriedpreneur, something like that, Marriedpreneur. And I think they do a podcast. They're a married couple, and they always give advice on, like marriage and stuff like that. I believe it's Marriedpreneur. Type that in, something like that, in your search, and then look for them. Then maybe they talked about that, or probably you can message them and just ask them the same question you asked me. I like to at least leave something with you to look into, or someone to contact if I don't know. But I believe it's Marriedpreneur. Yeah, married and then preneur, like entrepreneur. So yeah, I would do that. So I apologize that I couldn't give you like an actual, like from me, but I'm not married and I can't tell you something from I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married. So I can't really, feel like I'm not on those grounds yet to help you. But I would definitely look out for them or someone else who's in a healthy marriage who can give you advice. But with that, guys, that is it for this episode. I would say if you're one of the people who are going through the heartbreak, I would say this is a good episode to really probably just take it in bite-sized pieces. You know where you're at. If you're at number one, taking time to work on you and that whole process with the healing and stuff like that, do it. You know what I mean? Take your time. Don't let nobody pressure you to be in a relationship. Don't let nobody pressure you not to work on yourself. Do that. Whatever stage you are at with the advice I gave you, just lean into that whole process. You will get through it. You will gain so much from it. Ultimately, it will make you a better human being. If anything, it's going to teach you how to love better. I say even if the person that you're meant to be with, it's preparing you to be with them. That's one thing I can definitely tell you. So with that being said, guys, that's it for this episode. I thank you all for taking the time to tune in to the Connect 7 podcast. And with that being said, guys, I will talk to you all soon. Later.